Welcome to the Fantasy Back Porch Hour. We are Lil D,
Howdy,
the
howdy.
muscle giraffe.
Yo, man.
That's right, brother.
That's it.
Sleeves, the fantasy alchemist. I am Bear. This is Outlaw. Let's do it.
Well, in case you haven't seen some of the earlier segments that we've just done, you can tell that the scenery has changed somewhat. It's because it's still raining outside. However, we're still going to give you the same great show. Now, we're going to talk about replacements for the injuries that we just talked about. Now, we just went over the amount of injuries and the amount of, important injuries that happened in week 7.
Oh, yeah, and there was a lot of them.
This weekend was cataclysmic.
It was, for a lot of teams.
Yeah, God help you started those guys that got hurt.
Yes, and mainly me. So,
because unfortunately, none of them put up stats before they got injured.
No.
Well,
Reggie
Jeff Heller
Waiver
put down stats.
Well, yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
Right.
That's the second time, by the way, I started a player this year that got me negative points. But the first guy we're going to talk about that we're going to debate about should be picked up or should not be picked up is, from the U, Mike James.
I agree.
I say pick him up.
Yeah.
I say
go after him
I say
because, I don't know, it just seems to me with Mike Lennon at quarterback, when he stepped in last week, although it was only for 8 yards, he did catch 3 passes. In a PPR format, that's still 3 points.
Yeah.
Plus what he wasn't the feature back for the entire game. But when it comes down to it,
If you're hurt.
you don't know what's going to happen.
Yep.
You have to be really hurting to have Mike James.
If those are my running backs and they're on the bye week, and I can pick up James, I would pick him up, at least put him in a flex. I'm not saying that I would start him anyway. If I could get him, I would pick him up, put him on the bench. But in your situation, I'd start him in a flex.
But he's
You
playing
probably have to.
He's playing in an 8-team league.
Still.
Yeah, that most people aren't. And
But
you shouldn't.
again,
But
no,
he's coming
but-
along. He's learning.
yeah. Well, this year he's in an 8-team league next week.
No,
or next
no.
year, he's not.
No.
Well, our 8-team league is our like a learning league.
Right.
Yeah.
It is the
And
league
that's
to
what we're-
teach people.
And that's what we do. We incorporate everybody, and then we...
Right, but that was the league that
Teach them.
Vincent Jackson was on the waiver wire.
True.
In a 10 or 12-team league, he's not on the waiver wire. And
Yeah.
yes,
I hate
that
you,
happened.
but-
In a 12-team league, Mike James may not have already been on the waiver wire, though he
Well,
was.
he is now. I mean, he
He
was
is.
up until tomorrow.
Yeah.
However, I disagree that you should not worry about Mike James.
Okay.
The reason why?
Why?
Doug Martin, every single carry, as
Mhm.
great as he is, or as good as he has been, is getting hit 2-3 yards deep in the backfield.
And I agree. He is.
So what is Mike James going to do different?
Mike James has about 20 to 30 pounds on him.
No, I love Mike James. He's from my school. Well, the school
That's fine.
that I love.
I know.
But he's not. If he was better than Doug Martin, he would have been starting. And the bottom line is that offensive line is still dealing with the whole MRSA thing. They're not a good offensive line. They are not protecting anything. They're not creating holes. Don't worry about. Let somebody else take Mike
When do you
James.
think they'll learn you can't share cups?
Here's who I would pick up though, if he's still available in your league, which he shouldn't be, but in a lot of leagues he still is. Instead of Mike James,
Especially if you're in a 10-person league, which is the most common.
Yeah.
Zach Stacy.
Yeah.
You pick up Zach Stacy. That's the
Yeah.
running back to have.
Especially now that Sam Bradford's out, because you don't know
Yes.
who's going to be starting for them.
Yeah.
Yes, you take Zach Stacy.
Yeah.
That is the best available option. He had 18 points last week against
Yeah.
Carolina.
Yeah, about the only
Wow.
thing they're going to be able to do is run the ball now.
Yes, a team against a really good run defense. Another running back you should pick up, in my opinion, Peyton Hillis.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean,
Iffy, but yeah.
he did get the touchdown this week, but is it really going to be a reliable running back? Is he going to duplicate what he did 3 years ago?
No,
No, he's not.
no,
Is he going to play to that level?
no. But if you're hurting at running back, if you need a running back number 2 because of bye weeks or injuries, that is a guy I would pick up and just pray that they get the ball on the 1, 2, 3 yard line and he can run it in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
that's possible, but I think I've got one better that is only owned in 29% of NFL.com leagues that's a better pickup than Peyton Hillis, and that's Andre Ellington.
Yes, he is the man to pick up other than Zach Stacy. To me, they're the same caliber.
Because what's going to happen eventually, Rashard Mendenhall is either going to get hurt or they're finally going to realize that he's not as good as they want him to be, and Ellington is going to be the feature back in Arizona. I don't know if it's going to happen this year. I hope it does, because he's a good running back. But
Ellington right now, as far as rookie running backs goes, he has, and again, it's a running back, but still, he's averaging like 7.3 yards per catch.
Yes.
As you're in a PPR league,
Which it should be.
I know. But so every time he touches the ball, receiving, 1.7.
Yep.
He gets 8. I don't know. That's a lot. But
He's averaging around 4 or 5 catches per game.
Okay, I'll go with 5. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's...
But of all these guys, we're talking like
9 points.
We're talking like if you're getting anywhere from 8 to 10 points, that's a good substitution.
Yeah. Especially in the flex.
With Andre Ellington, with the exception of the game against Seattle, which it's Seattle. I mean, they just their defense dominates. Yeah. But with the exception of that game, Andre Ellington has scored, if I'm not mistaken, because he's on my bench, if I'm not mistaken, he has scored between 11 and 14 points the 3 or 4 weeks prior to that. Very consistent. Mm-hmm. Very consistent. Definitely someone you can plug into your flex spot based on injuries or bye weeks.
Yeah,
I agree.
So those are the running backs that are available. There's really only one wide receiver we see that's pretty available that you need to pick up if you don't have them.
Right.
And that is Darius Hayward-Bay.
Right. Yeah. With Reggie Wayne going down with an ACL tear.
Yeah. He's definitely going to be up
T.Y. Hilton steps into the number 1 slot, which means that Darius Hayward-Bay steps into the number 2 slot. Yeah. He's going to be the other wideout or slot receiver. He's going to get a lot more looks, a lot more catches than he has in the past.
Well, and with the acquisition of Trent Richardson and them wanting to be a power running game, which you're not, quit trying to be one.
No, but
that opens up that deep pass to Haybay. With his speed, that little play action pass running him on that fly pattern. All he needs to do is catch 1 a game.
I also believe that the injury to Reggie Wayne, and I dropped him last week, stupidly apparently. But anyway, tight end position, I think Coby Fleener becomes a lot more viable this week than he was last week, and any week prior to last week.
Yeah, that's true too. Hey, how did that work out for you?
It did not.
Yeah, thank you.
But still, I think Fleener as a tight end position pickup could definitely be viable because if wide receiver recovered, and, well, I don't know how Rich was in the backfield, but still, Luck, they had the chemistry from playing at Stanford. He's going to throw to Fleener. And Fleener had, in the NFL.com league, I think he had at least 20 points.
So those are some of the free agents we see that are available that should be on your team if they've not already.